Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good day. Hello, Mwene, wherever you are. We are very happy to have you join us in today's show of Life Matters, where every life matters. I'm Hoa Solomon. Stay with me for just under an hour, where today specifically we shine a spotlight on inspirational individuals and institutions shaping the path of Islamic education. Today we are honored to have Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien, a beacon of knowledge and guiding force behind Baseera Institute, a remarkable female-led Islamic institution, to join us as we delve into the vision and impact of Baseera Institute and the incredible journey led by Shaykhah Rukayya in an empowering minds through the light of knowledge. Shaykhah Rukayya has a great story to tell as well, and we're going to find out all about Baseera Institute when it was founded back in 2016. And Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien completed memorization of the Holy Quran over a 2-year period under the tutelage of the late esteemed, well-known Sheikh Muhammad Yusuf Bulli out in the Western Cape, Cape Town. And then after completing her memorization, she returned to school and completed her matric at Islamia College, after which she commenced studies in Damascus, Syria for 6 years. She received a diploma in Arabic language and Islamic studies, and continued studying at Al-Fath University in the Faculty of Sharia, and holds a degree in Sharia and Sharia studies. During her stay, she recited the entire Quran to Sheikh Abu Al-Hassan Muhayyidin Al-Kurdi in the narration of Hafs via the tariq of Al-Shadbiya, and received sanad and ijaza therein. She acted as well as the former principal and subsequently Hifz consultant at Jam'iyatul Qura, a female Hifz institute, for 7 years, and lectured full-time at Darul Naim Weinberg in Cape Town for 6 years. She is now the director of Baseera Institute, which runs weekly classes in the sciences of Sharia. And Baseera Institute is focused on supporting the already existing madaris in Cape Town, by providing much needed English source books, as well as supporting the Hifz fraternity. So we welcome Shaykhah Rukayya. She's also authored many books through the Institute. But let's greet our esteemed guest. Assalamu alaikum, Shaykhah Rukayya, and welcome to Hilaal TV Life Matters.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Hawa, and to everyone tuning in and watching this program. Alhamdulillah, I'm extremely honored to be on this show, and we make dua that the sitting will be one where others will derive benefit from, as well as ourselves, inshallah.
I mean, it's been quite a journey for us to get you also online and in studio. The last time we met out at the Cape Town Student was an awesome program that was as well, and we're looking forward to doing some great shows with you in the future. But today we focus on this beautiful institute that started out in 2016. I'm sure it's like your other baby, your other child. Let's delve into it, Shaykhah Rukayya. Why was Baseera Institute started? Let's look at the history of how it came about.
Shukran for that question, Sister Hawa. If we ask ourselves or ask immediately, why was Baseera Institute started? I think where we are now on the cusp of a new year, 2024, is very much different from where we started out in 2016. I think in 2016, it was really in response to a need in the community, and that was that some of the shuyukh were kind of reaching out to me and asking me to open up some classes for females in the community, specifically in the area of fiqh and aqidah and other Islamic sciences. And at that particular time, I was teaching in the community, but I didn't really have specific classes for ladies or for the females in the community. And this came as a result of ladies approaching them as shuyukh and imams in the community, asking them, are there any females conducting such classes, particularly in some of the, I think, sciences where they probably would feel a little bit more comfortable taking those subjects from females. But I don't think it's only the nature of the subject. It's also, I think, that unique connection that ladies have with each other, in a social setting, in terms of taking from each other, learning from each other, being in each other's spaces. So I think in 2016, that was when I, alhamdulillah, responded to this need, and I opened up classes just, around the corner from where I grew up, and that is at Mashal Ishraq in Grassy Park. And I started having night classes there on a Tuesday evening. I started teaching actually fiqh and then also aqidah on a Tuesday evening, around about 2 hours, alhamdulillah, and just very well attended by the ladies in the community. But because I was struggling to find English source material, we not only gave them the rulings, for example, in the Shafi'i fiqh madhab, but also gave them the adillah, the evidences for that from the Quran and the Sunnah. I actually came upon one of the works that we studied ourselves in Syria, and that was Al-Fiqh al-Manhaji, which is a modern Shafi'i fiqh text where it brings together the ruling as well as the evidence from the Quran and the Sunnah. And so what naturally happened from that was that I started translating that book, alhamdulillah. I translated the purification section, which is Tahara, in the Salah section, the section of prayer, then the Sawm section, section of fasting, and then Nikah and Talaq, marriage, divorce, custody, etc. And so with me translating that, alhamdulillah, we started learning from those texts, and I started teaching from those texts. And then what naturally came from that was, after a while, I realized that I had through the process of myself teaching the ladies this particular topic, I had actually translated entire sections of Al-Fiqh al-Manaji. And that actually resulted in me actually publishing some of the works of Al-Fiqh al-Manaji under my institute, and that is Baseera Institute, alhamdulillah. So when we say that, alhamdulillah, Baseera has also published in certain areas, it wasn't like a plan, okay, I'm going to translate these sections and I'm going to make it available. It was something which happened very naturally, alhamdulillah, and then I just collated it and it edited and it looked at by some shuyukh in the community, and then alhamdulillah we put it out for the community to benefit from, alhamdulillah, and it's being used by some of the institutes in the community and being received very, very well, alhamdulillah.
So my question, Maaf, and I'm sure that's like the short version of where Baseera Institute started, and knowing that it is specifically for females. What makes it different from other female sections, madaris and hifz schools in Cape Town, in the area? Because I know there are many other hifz schools that will maybe have a male section and a female section, but this is just specifically for females.
Yes, so obviously that's like just a little bit of the very beginnings of Baseera, and maybe like through the history and understanding like how we evolved. I mean, I don't like to say that we are unique. I'm sure every institute is bringing something of benefit to the community, but what I can speak about is our journey and how we try to do things at Baseera Institute. So what happened during that time was that I was teaching these topics to ladies in the community. I also translated some Aqidah works for the ladies, and that was what was happening. And then what happened was, it was during around about the time of COVID, when we started not being able to have physical classes, and then that class actually became very difficult, impossible to have the class. We know during COVID there was lots of restrictions. And then what happened was I went online. But before I actually went online, I had a discussion with one of my teachers now, Alhamdulillah, Shaykh Muhammad al-Mishri, and one of, I would say, mentors, Ustad Bilal Saeed and his wife, Sister Hajar Noordin. And we had a discussion and we were talking and we were all sitting in the room, and they asked, like, what am I doing for the ladies of Cape Town? And I said, I'm teaching these subjects, like, I'm teaching fiqh al-manaji, I'm teaching the fiqh from there, I'm drawing from other works that I've studied from, the Mughni and other works, Minhaj, and bringing that learning and scholarship to the ladies of Cape Town. And the vision of Baseera has always been to uplift the level of scholarship among females in the community. And then this discussion came about, but what are you doing for the ladies? And I said, but I'm doing that, I'm teaching. They said, yes, but you're teaching them from a text in English and you're translating it. So essentially whatever you're giving them is what they are reading and taking from you, but what are you doing really to independently equip them to be scholars in their own right? And I said, subhanallah, like I understood what they were saying, and then I said, let's go back to the traditional texts, let's go back to the source text. And I opened up a class and I started teaching some of these texts in Arabic. I said, let's teach, Jawar al-Tawheed, I was teaching in fiqh, Safinatu Najah, Risala. I was teaching some of these traditional texts in fiqh and aqidah to the ladies of Cape Town, with the intention of not giving them the English version, but actually letting them interact independently with the source material.
Okay.
And then from there, alhamdulillah, what happened was during COVID, we opened up a class under Shinqit and Baseera Foundation, where we were starting to have scholars from Mauritania teach certain texts in Arabic, and I was translating the text, and the audience was on WhatsApp about 600 or 800 people, alhamdulillah. And then what happened during that 2-year period of myself teaching some texts, but also teaching Nahu, grammar, teaching some Arabic language in the process of those 2 years, alhamdulillah, online. Another realization came to Basira, and that was that I was trying to teach in an individual capacity some of the Arabic texts, like in fiqh and in aqidah and in hadith, but there still remained a weakness in the Arabic language itself among the ladies that I wanted to share these texts with. And so this idea that I always had, in my mind, and I always had in my heart, but I didn't know if it was something that could work, in the community. And that was to go back to, almost like go back to the roots, go back to the asl, and that is look at Arabic language, strengthening the understanding of the Arabic language and using that as the ladder for success in terms of uplifting the level of female scholarship in the community. And from that, alhamdulillah, this question that you're asking, I think, is answered. And that is, we opened up last year in 2020, no, this year in 2023. Alhamdulillah, we had our first year of a program called Arabic Mastery Program. And the reason for that program and the inspiration for that program was really to uplift the level of Arabic language among females in the community, so that they could, inshallah, reach a level where they could independently and among and with teachers in the community also sit in classes where they can learn fiqh, learn aqidah from, not from any scholar, be they local scholars or international scholars. And the reason for that was because many of the classes that I would attend of like international scholars, whether they are residing in South Africa from like Yemeni origin or Moroccan origin, or visiting scholars, or even scholars who are offering classes online in the Arabic language. As a South African, many times it's just been me in the class or myself and one or two other ladies, and I realized, and the class would be virtually, mashallah, there'd be a healthy number of males in the classroom, but it would be maybe be 1 or 2, 3 for the most females. And then this is actually the vision behind Basira, to uplift the level, to raise the level, so that more females could sit in these classes, could benefit from scholars, could access the source material independently, could do their own research, could further their education in this traditional line of learning, inshallah, with much more confidence, armed with the skill set that is required in respect of the Arabic language, inshallah.
Very true, Shaykhah. I recently just sat in a class with females, and there was a male teacher, and the male was reiterating that us females, we need to stand up and teach female subjects like this, Aqidah and Tawheed, and be the next, teachers for females. So exactly that is what we want to see going forward. But we need to take a short break quickly. Beautiful discussion as we profile Baseera Institute with Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien more just after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum and a very good day to you. Please do interact with us. We've got an email and a WhatsApp line because life matters in every show. And today we're specifically talking about a female-led Islamic institute led by females for females, and that is Baseera Institute, that seeks to raise the level of female education and scholarships. Online we have Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien to highlight more on this topic. And I want to delve into the type of courses that, the courses that Baseera Institute is teaching that is available. Shaykhah, if you could just take us through some of the current courses that are available at the Institute.
Currently, Alhamdulillah, where we are in 2023, is that our main program runs on Monday to Wednesday from 8:30 to 12:30, Alhamdulillah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and next year in 2024, we will be based at St. Athens Road Mosque upstairs, Masjid Salam, for those who know, in the Athlone area. Our classes start at 8:30 and it ends at 12:30. We also only have classes running from the beginning of February up until the end of November. We do not have classes in December for that program, neither in January. And the reason for that is because we're trying to tailor make a program that is suitable to ladies, to wives, to moms, to the females who genuinely carry a lot of the responsibility in a family. So we're trying to marry between the responsibilities and the duties that we have in a home, as well as this thirst for seeking ilm, alhamdulillah, and here specifically via the Arabic language. Also, our focus is, as you said, Monday to Wednesday. We don't have exams in that particular program, but we have regular homework that is given, as well as assignments whenever we finish a particular section. We like to give assignments, and I feel personally that this is a better way of assessing the student is really keeping abreast with the work, alhamdulillah. And there's always daily, weekly revision that is basically looked at in that particular program. If you're looking at what we teach in the morning, we're teaching essentially, as you can hear from the program, it's an Arabic mastery program. So it's unique in the fact that we focus on Arabic language holistically, in that we're looking at grammar, so we're doing Nahu Wadih. We're looking at Sarf, so we're doing ilm al-sarf, and then we also looking at a reader, which brings these kind of these technical things that we're learning in Nahu and Sarf. It comes together in the reader section. So currently we're reading the Qasas, but we also want to expose our learners to other sections, other kind of reading, other kind of text. And then lastly, we also have a unique Muhadatha section. So that's also a subject where it's conversational Arabic, alhamdulillah. So we start with things like Assalamu alaikum, Kayf al-hal, min ayn ant, those kind of things. And to date, with 2023 having come to completion, alhamdulillah, we've had some ladies go on Umrah during the year, and it's been very heartening, alhamdulillah, them coming back and saying how they were actually able to use the conversational Arabic that Baseera, also seeks to equip them with during our course. So that is essentially the program that runs on a part-time basis, but the work is, we do expect the students to come and do the work, alhamdulillah. Then on a Monday evening, we have classes. We've been having it online. With 2024, we might have it physical as well as online. So you can watch Baseera's pages for that. So on a Monday evening, we finish text. So this is the thing Baseera prides itself on. We don't just teach a subject, but we pride ourselves on completing text from cover to cover. So on Monday evenings, we do the same thing. If we're teaching fiqh, we'll do it from fiqh al-manaji, for example, and we'll complete the text. If we're doing Aqidah, we normally teach Jawharat al-Tawheed, which is Jewels of the Creed, and we normally complete that text. If we're doing Hadith and we're doing 40 Hadith, then we will complete the text in its entirety. And at the end of the full-time program in the morning, we do give our students certification to say that they've actually completed those books with us, alhamdulillah.
Shaykhah, could you run through the criteria of some of these students that apply for this? Is it, individuals that have never done Arabic before? Can you start doing this part-time or the online, classes if you have done some Arabic, or is this preferable for students that has some sort of knowledge of it?
So previously, before the 2023 Arabic Mastery Program, before that, I just immediately delved into the texts of Aqidah and Fiqh and Hadith. I did at that time stipulate that they should have at least have done 1 year of Arabic, and I kind of measured it as the equivalent of a Dam Naim Arabic program in our community. But then I quickly realized that I was kind of preventing students who were eager to come to the program. And also, I found that there was a need for a Arabic program to delve a little bit more in detail with some of the Arabic grammar and morphology in a more detailed manner. So this year, all the years, alhamdulillah, in the future, we've actually only stipulated that any student coming on board should be able to recite the Quran. And the reason for that is that they don't need to come with any Arabic whatsoever. They should just be able to recite the Quran. And the reason for that is if you look at the grammar book specifically, if we hear grammar, we hear nahu, it's like students kind of, scared that I don't want grammar, I don't want nahu kind of a situation.
Yeah.
But if you're familiar with the nahu wadih, you can bring it up online. You can go, if you're in Cape Town, you can go to Gable. I source my books from a Noor bookstore. Okay. So they have a Nahl Wadih, and a Nahl Wadih is actually a grammar text that is taught to the primary school level children in Egypt or in the Arab lands. So because of that, you start off with very basic things like Al Baytu Jamil, the house is beautiful, Al Masjidu Ba'id, the masjid is far, etc. So it's like very, very basic Arabic, and you literally build yourself up like that. And the reason that I chose that book specifically is because my aim with choosing that book is not only to teach grammar. Grammar is the natural focus of that book, or rather it's the focus of the book. And the natural byproduct of studying a book like that is you will have a wealth of day-to-day Arabic vocab under your belt. You'd know things like the mosque is far, the fruit is delicious, the apple is green, the lion is roaring, the wolf is howling, the dog is barking. So just general things like that. Al-tiflu yabki, the child is crying. So you see that same word that you're learning in a text like that, you see it in Quran, you see it in Hadith, but now you're not being that word is not being translated to you when you read the Quran. Rather, you know that word already from another text. So when you're reading the Quran, there's more of a direct connection and interaction with that verse in the Quran or that saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is essentially what I kind of remind my students of all the time. Yes, you're reading it in a specific text, like a baby book, like we would say yesterday's Kathy and Mark in our primary school. But at the end of the day, it gives you the language, because Quran is Arabic, Hadith is Arabic, and alhamdulillah, that's something that my students have actually seen themselves, and it seems like everybody's enjoying, alhamdulillah, the journey.
MashaAllah. So inspiring, and makes me want to, run back to Cape Town. So I want to talk about, some online options for individuals and where do you see the school going in the future. We're talking to Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien from Baseera Institute out in Cape Town, a female-led institute for women, by women, and most reaping the benefits of it. So we'll talk more just after the short break. Stay with us. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. It's an absolute pleasure having you in studio with us as we go through the vision and profiling a beautiful Islamic institute out in the Western Cape, Cape Town, and we hope to see a little bit more of Shaykhah Rukayya as well online with us, but hopefully in studio. We're so pleased to hear that an institute like this exists. and how it focuses on supporting the already existing madaris in Cape Town and providing a much needed English source books as well as supporting the Hifz fraternity. And I thought it was just a Hifz academy. So it's so beautiful to hear that, Arabic comes out, an understanding of Aqidah. And I want to talk about the Shaykhah Rukayya, the differences that Baseera Institute compared to other institutes, and I'm sure there's lots of similarities. But when I hear something like the mothers, the wives, the sisters, the women from the community comes out, specifically to come and learn Arabic, and how going on Umrah or sitting, reading the Quran, how it just enlightens their lives because of the background knowledge that they have. So let's talk about what makes Baseera Institute, the sistership that is created there, the bonds that are formed, and how that brings individuals like mothers together in a space that they need.
Alhamdulillah. So just a quick reminder to myself that the inspiration for the Arabic Mastery Program also came about because I realized when we go overseas, like when I studied in Syria, we didn't immediately go to, let's say I went to Al-Fath University. We didn't immediately from South Africa go to university. We were first tasked to be in an Arabic program. I studied at Abu Noor, for example, for 2 years. And then when I studied the Arabic language, thereafter I was equipped to go and study, fiqh, aqidah, and the rest. Whereas in South Africa, I realized that what we're doing is we want to study Arabic or want to study fiqh or aqidah via the Arabic language, and we immediately go and study those particular books. Whereas that isn't practiced, when we ourselves go, or the desire of studying and coming back to provide scholarship in the community. That isn't the path that we follow, yet we're asking and tasking them to follow a path that we ourselves didn't follow. And that is really like the inspiration behind Baseera, actually having an Arabic language component and bringing up the level via that way. In terms of the question that you're asking me, in terms of my own experience growing up, Alhamdulillah, I grew up and I saw how my mommy was always teaching, Alhamdulillah, in the community, fiqh, aqidah, tafsir, and these subjects. And I realized that the students that were around my mother actually became her community, and they became a community to each other. I saw the love between the ladies. I saw the sisterhood between the ladies. I saw how they studied together, they learned together, but they also had a very good time together. And Alhamdulillah, this is something that I grew up and I saw and experienced firsthand. And this is something that I then tried to bring to my classes as well. From 2016, when I started having classes at Mashul Ishraq, the ladies up until today, we get together every so often, we see each other, they are always in contact with each other, we're always, going to each other's programs, when there's functions with their kids or just things, alhamdulillah, social gatherings, they're very much a part of each other's lives. And this is something that I also try to bring to the program, which we have, the Arabic Mastery Program. I witnessed this with the ladies, alhamdulillah, who also did the program last year in 2023. In that, we were about 25 ladies, 25, 30 ladies in the classroom that came together and we learned together, we studied together, we did homework and assignments together, but very much also a part of each other's lives. There was, real palpable love for each other, the sisterhood in the class, the love for each other. And even myself as a teacher, I have in the past taught in a classroom where there would be males on one side and females on the other side. But definitely whoever was in that classroom compared to the Mu'allim Rukayya that they see now among ladies only, it's two different people. You cannot be the same if you're teaching females only and, versus teaching males and females. So even as a teacher, how open you can be, how much you can express yourself, and also the ladies with each other, how comfortable they can be in their own spaces. That's something that Baseera Institute really values as extremely important. إنما المؤمنون إخوة. We know this ayah in the Quran in Surah Hujurat that indeed brothers, that the believers are brothers and sisters to each other. So for me, it's extremely important that Baseera, that we do not only impart ilm and seek to raise the level of female scholarship in the community, but that we also aim to foster that bonds of love and togetherness and sisterhood among the females in our community and specifically in our classroom, because that is as important in terms of our deen of Islam as the acquisition of ilm. So that is something that we pride ourselves on and that we focus on in our classroom settings, alhamdulillah.
So what would you say, Shaykhah Rukayya, when it comes to women that says, oh no, I'm too old to go and learn, and yet I see in some of the Darul Naim classes that I went to was these women that are 60, 70, learning hifz, learning to wanting to understand the Quran because of their passion, because they're sitting and reading the Quran and they want to understand. And then there's also those that are struggling from a very old age already and saying they can't read the Quran properly maybe, and they still need to go and learn. Would there be a space for someone like that in your institute?
I think not just at my institute, at any institute of learning, the sciences of our deen, and in the tools to actually acquire those sciences, which is the Arabic language. From any institute, you take what you can. يعني فخذوا من كل شيء أحسنه. Imam Shafi'i رحمه الله تعالى, he says, العلم عميق بحره. That ilm, then the ocean of knowledge is extremely vast, and you will never be able to attain everything. فخذوا من كل شيء أحسنه. So take the best of everything. That is what I would say firstly. And secondly, if you come into a program, and a program like, let's say, like Baseera, you perhaps have a different vision to the 20-year-old coming on board. You coming on board with the intention of taking whatever you can of the ilm that is at your disposal. And not only that, besides the ilm, we're coming also to be in a beautiful gathering. We're coming to be in a gathering of ilm, a gathering of where the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being shared, is being permeated. And I say the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I refer here to it being ilm. And I remind myself of this beautiful saying of Imam Shafi'i rahmahullah ta'ala, which one of my personal favorites. He says, أحب الصالحين ولست منهم لعلي أن أنال بهم شفاعة. He says, I love the salihin, the people of righteousness, even though I do not count myself among them. It may be that because of my connection with them, I may attain intercession on the day of Qiyamah. So what I mean by that is not to only come into these spaces with the intention of, gathering the time. Yes, 100% that should be one of our intentions. But part and parcel of our intention is just to be in good spaces, to be in the company of good people, to take from them and for them and for them to take from us. So we shouldn't just narrow down our vision and our intention and our focus when we come into these spaces, to be the best in grammar and the best in morphology and the best in spoken Arabic, written Arabic, reading Arabic, but to be much more than that. And we can, take that from any space, inshallah.
Inshallah. I want to look at also, what the institute is doing besides learning and teaching these females on a daily basis, just to uplift them from individuals that, come from areas that just needs that push. And as we know, the ongoing genocide happening in Palestine, what the Institute has also, revived the Muslimas in the area with knowing what is going on in the Middle East. But we talk more with Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien, Principal and Director at Baseera Institute, a beautiful women-led institute out in the Western Cape. More just after this, back in a moment. Welcome back. Assalamu alaikum. A very good day to you. This is Life Matters, and we're focusing on an institute based out in the Western Cape. Baseera Institute started out in 2016 by Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien, who studied out in Syria and came back to her community and was constantly asked by her teachers, "What are you doing for the women? What are you doing for the community?" And she's like, "No, I'm teaching them hifz, I'm teaching this class and that class." And eventually it came out, "But what are you doing for the women? What are you doing for the community in a way that I need to do more?" And alhamdulillah, she focused a lot on hifz, some books that has been authored by the institute, through the institute, assisting your loved ones along their hifz journey, which is available via the institute. Another one, hifz guide and educator's manual, as well as the book of purification and the book of prayer, all available. And I'm sure they use it as manuals in their continuous learning courses at the institute. So, Shaykhah, if I can just ask you, and I'm sure we can go on and on about, what is being taught, what's being learned, but ultimately, when you are teaching these young, middle-aged, women, wives, mothers, sisters, teachers, something stands out for you. Do you have any heartwarming stories to share with us that just like makes you proud of doing what you're doing?
Subhanallah, definitely. I mean, it put me on the spot a little bit. A lot of stories, and no stories comes to mind.
Yeah.
But maybe this one story, Alhamdulillah. And that was when we started the Arabic Mastery program last year. A couple of ladies came to me, and there was this two ladies really who came to me, and they told me they actually didn't study Arabic at all before. They were rearing the children, and they always wanted to study the Arabic language, alhamdulillah. So they actually came fresh, to Basira, alhamdulillah. And a couple of months or so into the program, they came to me and they said, subhanallah, like this program really, it really provided them with exactly what they needed at that particular time of their lives. And they were very thankful, alhamdulillah, not only for the program and the teaching of the Arabic language, but for the beautiful sisterhood that existed at Basira. And I think that really encapsulated for me the very thing that Basira is trying to achieve in the community, the acquisition of ilm alongside the strong sense of sisterhood and the love, alhamdulillah, that they spoke about in the class, and how that really, came at the right time for them in their particular lives. Maybe another story is also one of the ladies who had gone to Umrah last year, and she had just started with Basira, and she was there, for at least 3/4 of the year before she went to Mecca. And I wasn't aware that apparently around about Jumu'ah time, they don't allow you to exit from the haram. But the daughter had taken ill and she needed to get out of the haram, and they were giving like a hard time to anybody wanting to exit. And then I don't want to repeat, exactly what she said in Arabic because I don't want to out her on air, mashallah. But she then said that she actually conversed with him in Arabic and
Oh,
conveyed to
wow.
them that the daughter is ill and she needs to take her immediately to the mustashfa, to the hospital. And then they were so helpful. And I was
Okay.
like so proud of her. And we were all having a great laugh in class. But at the same time, I was immensely proud of her that
Yeah.
she could communicate to them that her daughter was ill and she needed to take her to the hospital. And then thereafter, they were extremely helpful. And I
Wow.
thought that was like a beautiful story, mashallah.
So, Sheikh Rukayya, there's so much focus on certain narratives when it comes to what's happening in Palestine, and us as mothers seeing other mothers suffering, seeing children dying, families being eradicated from the history of this time and age. What has, and I'm sure Baseera Institute has done, some tedious tasks to keep the spirit alive within the institute and within the ladies that are attending with regards to, women and, the plight of suffering. So what has, if I may ask, that has Baseera Institute has done with regards to the issue and the current genocide in Palestine?
So, Alhamdulillah, shukran for that question. So, before Baseera starts the classes from the beginning of the year, the Sunnah of Baseera, the way for us at our institute, is we always opened up the morning with nasiha, and we're taking from the nasiha the poems of Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah ta'ala. So, with the intensified atrocities that was being committed against the Palestinian people, we have to say the intensified atrocities, because we do know the atrocities has been raging on for decades. But with that occurring, what we started doing in the Nasiha section in the morning was that we actually paused some of the poems of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala, and started looking more at focusing the Nasiha on the plight of the Palestinian people and how we should, interact as Muslims with regards to that, looking at in the Quran verses that is in relation to that, hadith, as well as speaking about the current topics that is and the current affairs that's happening. Alhamdulillah, we've got of every type in our classroom. So we have some ladies that's a bit more clued up, always being active in this particular area. So we get, them to share some of their insights, and just a daily reminder. We never started our morning, I think, Alhamdulillah, since everything has intensified, we never started our morning except by mentioning something, talking about them, making dua for them, and, starting our morning in the remembrance of the plight of the Palestinian people. And then on top of that, what happened was that Baseera was in need of having a fundraiser, the first Baseera has ever had since its inception in 2016. And it came at a time where, to be honest, it wasn't really leaving the best taste in our mouths, kind of like we're having the fundraiser and we're kind of going on with our lives. And it's difficult with everything else happening in the world, specifically now surrounding the Palestinian people and the children and the genocide against males, females, children specifically. And so, but we also needed to have something so that Baseera could actually have a second year this year in 2024. So what we did was we had a program, alhamdulillah, and we had a very successful fundraiser last year. Shukran to the ladies who ran with that. But we never forgot the Palestinians. In fact, they were very much a part of our program. We had a Palestinian drive, we had cake auctions, we had the watermelon drive, we had the archery, and all of those funds was dedicated to the Palestinian cause and Alhamdulillah Baseera Institute. Not that we wanted to speak about it, but we wanted to, highlight the plight of the Palestinians. We had that at the program, and we also managed to make a donation for the Palestinian cause, Alhamdulillah. And the entire event was actually Palestine themed. So if you looked at Baseera Institute's, social media when we were putting out the program, you'd see that a lot of the Palestine, the flag would be there. We had some advertising of Palestine. Yeah. We welcomed the people to support some of the drives that was going to, the funds were going to go to Palestine. And we had the Palestinian garb on. And it's something that is very much part and parcel of who we are. Yeah. And it's something that at Baseera we remind our students of daily, and we remind them of that regularly, that we need to keep the Palestinian issue at hand. And to end, inshallah, with this, yes, is one of those beautiful ladies in my class, Sister Fidel Muhammad. She said something, she posted something, and it's just like kind of summarizing what she said, and it's so true. It's a beautiful thing she said, and such a true thing. She said that memoricide enables genocide. So when I read it, I was, subhanallah, so it's just to keep the memory alive, to keep learning alive, to keep the Palestinian cause alive. All of that is so important. And us feeling what we're feeling is actually an indication of our iman. If we didn't feel sad, then it would be, subhanallah. Yeah. So we say shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity.
Yeah. Someday, Shaykhah, it's just so overwhelming, but unfortunately that's where we have to leave it. I just quickly want you to tell our listeners, our viewers, where we can find any more information from Baseera Institute if they're interested in contacting the Institute.
You can go to Baseera Institute's pages. So we have Baseera Institute South Africa, that's Facebook, and then we have Baseera Institute Insta, and then we also have baseerainstitute.org. So we have a website. We also have a cell phone number, which is for WhatsApp only, 067-214-4963, if you need to know anything further.
Jazakallah khair to you, Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien. As we conclude this enlightening episode of Life Matters, we extend our deepest gratitude to Shaykhah Rukayya Samsodien for sharing her insights and passion for Islamic education. Baseera Institute status as a testament to the power of knowledge and the leadership of dedicated individuals. We encourage our viewers to explore this enriching offerings of Baseera Institute and join us in celebrating the pursuit of wisdom by contacting them and to find out more information. So shukran so much to you, Shaykhah. Assalamu alaikum. We hope to chat to Shaykhah Rukayya soon again, and on the topic specifically of teaching your child to love the Quran. Hope to see you again in our Ramadan program as well. But our next show will expound on eczema in children with Professor Carol Slela. So please interact and send your comments and questions around eczema in children. But until next time, may the light of knowledge continue to illuminate your path. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum and goodbye.